Polygon TE-N e-mountain bike, Polygon Vander T8 mountain bike. To me, these bikes are two sides of the same coin. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to stick around and watch the video. All right, we're going to start out looking at my Polygon Vander T8. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know I built this from a bare frame I bought from Bikes Online. I think it was a 2021 frame. I believe it was a 27.5 frame, but it's got an extrusion fork with a rough cut damper, 29-inch front wheel, so it's a mullet. Being a mullet, it's got 64-degree effective head tube angle, basically because of the change in the geometry a little bit. Bike's around 33 pounds. I haven't weighed it lately. It has a 9-speed group set. It's a 5100 series Dior derailleur with a SRAM X9 shifter and just an aftermarket 9-speed 11 to 50 cassette. Being that the bike was used somewhere where you were either climbing or descending, it wound up being the best group set I put on the thing. I tried some different stuff, but was the way to go. Because I only used the bike in one place, I really did some specific things to it. And the reason I'm saying this and my e-bike are two sides of the same coin, because they only get used in that one place. So what I want to do is put some of the specific things I learned from this bike, I'm going to apply them to the e-bike. Now you may remember there's a video of me when I went to Wales and I did mountain biking in Wales. And the mountain we were on is 3,500 foot elevation. And the week before I went there, I went to my normal trail. I did all the climbs, totally fine, everything good. But I went out there and I struggled. And, you know, I'm 63, right? So I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to struggle with stuff like climbing. Somebody lent me an e-bike while I was there, and I decided that was definitely the way to go. And that's how I wound up with my Polygon TE-N. So we're going to get onto that bike, and we're going to talk about some of the things we're going to do, and then we're going to go out to Clayton Park, where only place I use this bike, only place I ride that bike. All right, this is my Polygon TE-N e-bike. Got a Bosch CX motor. It's 85 Newton meter. The battery is 625 watt hours, or however they rate the thing. I don't know. Magura MT7 brakes. However, I did put a 220 millimeter rotor in the front, floating rotor, 203 floating rotor in the back. I put a little bit higher rise handlebars on it. It's a 140 millimeter travel in the back, 150 in the front. Not a bad fork. I really love to put a Manitou on it, but I don't have the money. So right now is the SRAM GX derailleur with a 12-speed. And I'm going to do something kind of controversial. I'm going to put a 9-speed on this with a Dior derailleur. I know it's controversial, but we're going to talk about it on the whiteboard. I'm going to write out all the numbers for you, and you're going to see why I believe it's the way to go. The one thing with this bike is I am constantly double shifting. Now remember, where I'm riding the thing, I'm climbing and descending. And I'm going to show you with the numbers why that's a better way to go. I also have some brake pads from Hardheaded RAM. They're specifically designed for e-bikes, for heavier bikes. They have all different kinds of compounds. They sent them to me, told me to try them, so we're going to do that. Right now, Trucker Co. semi-metallic pads are what's on it. On the front, on the rear are some Gorilla Enduro pads. Great setup. They both work great. So I'm not really sure how much better the Hardheaded RAM pads can be. But, you know, we're going to put them on here. We're going to try them. You know, I think the overall distance of stopping is not going to change, but the feel and if they could take the heat, because it's a 53-pound bike, and I am no lightweight riding the thing, so they're taking a lot of abuse. So what I want to do is we're going to get the cassette off, and I'm going to write some numbers on my whiteboard, and then we're going to talk about why I'm putting a 9-speed on this thing. All right, here's our two cassettes. They're both 11 to 50, but one is 9-speed and one is 12-speed. So here we have the actual ratios of the two cassettes. So if you notice, 12-speed, 50, 42, and 36. Our three lowest gears are exactly the same. 13 and 11, 13 and 11. Our two highest gears are exactly the same. So what are you doing when you're ascending and descending? You're in your first 3 gears, you're in your last 3 gears, right? I want to go even farther and say, if you look at a 16 replaces a 17 and a 15. A 20 replaces a 19 and a 22. A 24 replaces a 25 or a 28. Your 30 replaces your 32. So basically, you're just spread out wider in those middle ranges. Now, what does an e-bike do for you, right? It gives you pedal assist. It gives you some extra power. So wouldn't it make sense you would want a wider spread cassette to take advantage of that extra power? When I'm riding my e-bike, I'm constantly double shifting in the middle gears. Like all these gears that aren't exact, I'm literally double shifting like so much to get it where the electric part's actually helping me, where it's in a range where I'm not just pedaling really fast and not taking advantage of the e-bike power. Now I always keep it in a lower range. I could just put it in turbo and it don't matter, but I don't ride like that. I put it either in the first or second range so that I'm still doing most of the pedaling, but I'm taking advantage of the e-bike power to climb. And I think really this is really going to be an advantage to me. Now, even with the regular bike, the 9-speed was so much better for me than any other group set. So this is my theory anyway. I'm going to put this stuff on the Polygon e-bike, and we're going to see. I'm going to put that on and put the brakes on, and we're going to go to Clayton Park and try to bike out and see what I think. I'm going to swap out this Magura rotor for this new Shimano rotor, same diameter, but this rotor's been on here for a while, and I think just to be fair to the new pads, I'm going to put a new rotor on the back. The front rotor's only been on there for, I think, really only one run when I made the last video, so I can scuff that with a little sandpaper and it'll be fine. So I just want to do this just to be as fair as I can to the new pads. All right, I got the 9-speed on there, all set up, everything working. Changing the brake pads. Just wanted to show you. So these were Gorilla pads, and these work pretty good. Pretty happy with them. These are the new, I already put the back ones in. These are hard-headed ram ones. And what I noticed was, you can see the little sparkles. I think it's copper it said was in there. I have to look again, but definitely little sparkles of metal. Nice looking pads. I guess we're going to see on the trail how good they work. All right, well, here we are at Clayton Park. I'm going to go out and try the 9-speed setup, see how that works. I got the hard-headed ram brake pads in it. We're going to try them out, and we'll see how it goes. Let me get my gear and let's get out of here. Yeah, got my new full-face helmet on and my new safety glasses. I bedded the brakes in some, in the driveway and then front area. Ooh, yeah, they feel pretty good already. Wow. Out on the road. I have not been on a bike in so long. I'm sorry, I'm not going fast. Wow. Yep. Yep, I am definitely way out of practice here. Oof. Oofta. Now I got it on the first level. Basically what they say, the first level is just making up for the weight of the e-bike. Well, it is pretty good out here for as much water as has been on the ground. I could definitely tell with the 9-speed, it's bigger jumps between gears. But the e-bike motor is making up for it. Honestly, it's yep. Probably didn't need to do that one. Almost knocked me off. Wow, I am so... Well, what is this? March. I haven't been on a bike since probably December, maybe? This is not going to be anything daring. But I'm telling you right now I'm shifting less than I normally do. All right, we're going up one level on power. This is where I normally ride on blue. Oh boy. That's the thing, I wish people that say they hate e-bikes would ride one. And they'd realize, unless you got it on turbo, it's a workout. Okay, I did a double shift there, but man, if it was a 12-speed, I'd have been done doing 3, definitely. Yeah, downshifted under load pretty good. I mean, it makes a little noise, but so did the GX. So, let me talk about this drivetrain again. This 9-speed, 11 to 50, same as the other, the 12-speed. But I'm going to tell you, I don't really see a whole lot of difference yet, because the e-bike motor is making up for the wider space gears. And I really believe I'm shifting less and not seeing any difference in performance. We get to a little bit of downhill, we're going to try the brakes, but they seem to be seating in pretty quick. I'm really surprised. I will say that about the hard-headed ram brakes. They seated in like super quick. I think I did 1 or 2 rides on the street in front of my house. You know, did the normal applying the brakes, but don't come to a complete stop. And yeah, first time I used them going on the trail, they were seated in already. Whoa, yeah, that's serious braking. Wow, I didn't think that was possible. They could be better. You can instantly lock up the rear wheel, which shouldn't be a big deal, but I could before, but not like just barely. I could touch it in me. How about doing just the back? Yeah. I wonder if maybe that's even a little too much though. right? Because I took some of the sensitivity out. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know. In the front, I'll put you on your face using a front brake. No, they're pretty awesome. I'm almost gonna say though, I don't like them being that strong in the back. I may put the other pads back on the back. But just to mention on the gearing, I'm leaving it in one gear this whole time. I don't know what gear it is, but whereas before I'd be up and down, shifting, downshifting. I know I'm gonna downshift for this though. So I think I want to comment on this helmet. I've been out here riding 53-pound e-bike, doing getting some pretty good speed on some downhills, and I just started thinking I needed a full face helmet. And this thing fits really nice. It's like so comfortable. But what I found, I needed to order one size bigger when I did full face. I sent back a couple of the bikes online, and then this one, I don't remember what the name is. It's on one of my other videos though. But it fits really nice. I really like it. I always get tons of speed through here. Today, that's probably not going to be the case because I am a little off my game. Must be hitting 20 though, because I feel the motor kicking out. Usually closer to 27, but not today. You do. All right, here we are back at the ranch. Wanted to show you my full face helmet. I couldn't remember the name of it. It's a Fly Racing, but where I normally wear a large, I needed an extra large in this, and it seems to be that way with full face helmets. I bought a couple and had to send them back, so just an FYI. Let me talk about the bike. The 9-speed worked great. I don't think there was a whole lot of difference, to be honest with you, but I do know I was shifting way less. And I was able to stay in one gear and let the electric motor give me the full benefit of it being there. So it's going to stay on there for a while. Needs a little adjustment. What I'm thinking about maybe doing is trying a ATEEZ 9-speed shifter with a ATEEZ derailleur, because the ATEEZ are supposedly designed for e-bikes. I never liked how slow they shift, but you know, maybe that's why they shift slow. Maybe they're stronger, more definite engagement. I don't know. Maybe we'll give it a try. And the brake pads, like you saw in the video, I mean, they worked awesome. I'm almost going to say, I think the rear pads, I'm going to put the Gorilla pads back on the back, just because I don't want the rear tire to lock up so quick. The front tire was great. I mean, all kinds of feel. Didn't lock it up the whole time, but there's not as much weight on the back. So, oh, break-in. Let me tell you something. These pads broke in faster. They bedded into the rotors faster than any other pads I've ever had. So I got to give them credit for that part. They're definitely working good. I mean, they're up there in the top level of aftermarket pads. There's no doubt. So that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope maybe you learned something. I know I have. All right, so we'll catch you next time on Shed. Lizzie and Steve, you're with me on every ride.